Hey everybody, I got the driver's door out of my truck and I'm gonna go through and show how I do the vent window and put in the glass. Let me show you some of the things on this door that are a little bit different than the passenger door, where I'm fairly certain I put the weather strip on backwards, and I'm gonna try and do it different on this one, see if it makes a difference, and then if so, I'll change it on the other door. If not, I'll change it back on this door. So let me show you what's a little bit different on this one. So this here is the trim that lives right there, but as you'll see across the bottom, this little felt strip that runs against the window, it goes the whole length. Can anybody guess why? But I'll tell you a little bit later why that is and where this window frame came from. Hint, it's not this truck. But somewhere along the line, the vent glass was changed because, or not the vent glass, the actual glass was changed because there's these stupid bolts in there. And I'm a little afraid of what I'm gonna see when I pull this little channel right here out. I had a little bit of an issue on the passenger door with this, and that is leading me to think there's an issue, but I'll show you why you don't use these bolts. So those mess this up pretty bad. It's cut in a little bit. I'm gonna have to grind that and try and make it look a little more presentable, but that's why you don't use hex heads right here. Use something a little lower profile. Okay, where I'm going to start is, I'm gonna start by taking this weather strip off all the way around the outside. It's a little crispy. Pull this sill out right here, or I guess that's a retainer clip. Take that out. I think there's 7 or 8 screws across there. So I will start working on that. Hey, I'm trying to shed a little light on the situation, but it's not working all that well in here. So I'm gonna start cutting this stuff off. I'm using a razor knife. Hopefully I don't cut myself, but I'll just score this all the way off. So here we go. So I got all that off. Right here I had a screw that was giving me some grief. I sprayed some Kroil on it, dug it out with a screwdriver, flat blade, razor blade, finally got it out. Believe it or not, this one looks a lot better than the other one did. And again, that weather strip looks nothing like this 80-year-old garbage that was on here. So trying to get it on right is kind of a pain, but I took out this bolt and this bolt. They're 1/4 20s, not very long, maybe 3/4 inch, 1/4 20s. Then there's some sheet metal screws. There's 3 of them here on the upper part. This weather strip was already gone. I think I might have ripped it out a couple years ago. but you'll see right here is a screw hole. That is in the center of the weather strip right there. So it's pinched here and then it's laid in tight across here and held in with that piece. So that is that. And then to get the vent window out, there is that blasted bolt. It's a 5/16 bolt. That one's been taken out, and I can tell because there's a flat washer on that thing. So I will venture to try and get that thing out. So I did spray some PB blaster on there. I've got a bunch of brake clean for cleaning the inside of this out before I put my stuff on the sound deadener. But now I'm going to try and pull these two out and see what this track, what its situation is. So here we go. Now I really hope my eyes deceive me, but that looks welded. That changes things a little bit. So I'll undo those bolts and then we'll see, but you can see, focus. You can see right down in there on the top, right there. You can see where those bolts come through. But I'm going to give this a go and see if that thing is indeed welded. That is gonna make me so mad. So yeah, I scratched at that with a razor blade and that is welded in there. So I'm not even going to attempt to take that out. I'm gonna try and reach down in there and get this weather strip, this window strip wrapped around down there. There's a little cleat right down in the bottom. You can see it right in the bottom of that track. But I've got to get that over the top, then somehow snap it in. Oh boy. We'll see how it works. So I backed these out. These things are way too wide and aggressive for that. It wasn't the right part. Get the right pieces so you don't ruin it. I didn't even try wiggling that thing around because I don't want to have to deal with this, and I think it'll take less time to shove my arm in there and try and tap this in than it will to try and redo this mess. I still do not understand that. So that thing's decided it's trying to twist that whole inner structure thing as I'm twisting around. It's so rusted. So that cramps my style just a little bit. So I'm gonna let the PB blaster sit some more. I'm gonna go around and clean all of this up. I'm using a drill with a wire brush on the end of it, just to get all of that goop off of there. So I'll do that while the PB blaster sits for a bit. Okay, I'll tell you what, that sucked. I'm not gonna touch it because I sprayed it and then I had to heat it up, and that thing has seen better days. I'm gonna have to try and straighten that out. So I'll pull this off. I went and put the screws back in because everything right here was just twisting. So I would pull that bolt down there before you take any of this apart. That would be my advice. It'll keep everything from flexing. It's gonna want to anyway if it's rusted really bad. Again, 3 screws, which are like sheet metal screws. I think I went and bought like number 8 sheet metal screws. So I have those, and now there. So now, theoretically, this fellow should just slide right out. And that end's gonna be hotter than pistol. Okay, so what am I gonna do with this thing is I'm gonna undo these bolts, this down here. I'm gonna take that out. I'm going to drill this out. You know what? That's already gone. So I'm not gonna drill that out. This one's already broke. And then those are all gone too. So there's a little piece. I'll undo this bolt and then I'll show you the rest of it. Okay, so this is a 1/2 inch. Preferably go the correct direction, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So undo this fellow. Talk. Okay. Now you got a bushing, a little paper bushing, feels like. A washer with kind of a oval hole, spring, and then one more washer. I might want to look at how I put the other one together, because I don't remember it having this many pieces. But I'm pretty certain that that passenger side on my truck's been completely destroyed in a prior life. So there we go. So that's another metal washer. Now we open this guy and wiggle it. Out of there. Now you're fighting these 2 other bushings right in there. You can see them. You fight those a little bit. There we go. There, I win. Okay. So it is a round washer on the bottom, and then one of these oval holed ones. So now, dig all this crusty crap out of here. And then, this guy here, that does have some rubber. So it's rubber, glass, and then a little bit of rubber around it. So, this is laminated instead of tempered. Laminated's gonna flake on you, so have some glasses on as you dig that out. Tempered glass, it won't flake, it'll just explode if you hit it with something sharp right on the edge. If you look, you have a little bit of glass sticks out past that edge, top and bottom. I'll show you this right here. I still have, I don't know what this light, let's see. Oh, need better light. but there's still some rivets somewhat left in this little piece right here. You can see the rivet right there still. These others are pretty much out. See that? But you'll take this piece off. You'll have a new one. I got my kit from LMC. You've got a new one of these jobbies and then a new rubber sill. So I'll dig the rubber sill out now. Tell you what, that sucked, pounding this stuff out. This stuff was so brittle, just, oh, and it was like glued in there. It wasn't glued, but it was so rigid that it wouldn't pop out. This has these ridges around it so that when the weather strip goes in, it snaps. And oh, it was baked in there. It was bad. So now I'm going to drill this out and then I'm going to sand it all down and paint it. And I'll tape this. I got to get the glass out too, I guess. So I'll drill this and pull the glass. Okay, I got this vent window apart. And again, I wore a pair of glasses and I used a dead blow to hit the frame to get that off of there. Now, I don't believe I bent this very much, but you've got to be careful when you're prying on that. You don't bend this out of shape very much. And if it's laminated, it's gonna shatter and put out your eyeball. Wear glasses and gloves. That'll be sharp. This, it was held on by, you can see the rubber on that top right there. You can do rubber, or when I worked at a glass shop, we'd put like a little bead of urethane in there and go pop it together. This bolt, it is fixed, okay? Don't try and take that out. That is fixed. But I've wire willed it, I sanded it down. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna paint it and probably call it a night. I'll probably sand this panel down or take the regulator out. I don't know. It's not too late, it's like 6:30, so I might keep going. You don't care. So I had some glass out of the 52 I've got out in the back, and I knocked the track off. I cleaned it all up, and then I am having problems getting this window regulator out. I don't know if this is a flat or what's up on the inside of this thing, so I can get that open or off. I don't know what's in there. So I just greased the heck out of it, got it to work. I didn't order a new roller for that, so I'm not putting it on, but I made sure that would slip on there. Putting her down in, getting it on. Seems, that's probably not good. I'll have to look at that. So now I'm going to bust this deal out right here. This is a window wiper. It's back inside of there. But I'm gonna bust that out. On the last one, I started breaking it, and then I slide it to this edge, and then I'd snap it right there. and had to feed it all the way from here over, snapping it. But then I'll show you how I fed it in, and it fed in really quite nicely. So this weather strip, or this drip sill stuff, I've got it in there. I'm just sliding it along this direction, and then I'll slip it right back in. So I got that thing all dug out of the way. You can see that wiper, that's a channel. Cleaned everything with brake clean, and I sanded and painted all of this. And as I was painting, I got looking down the edge of this door, and that thing, oh, look how mangled that is. I don't know. I don't even think there's anything I can do about it other than put it in and shim it or do something. So yeah, it is. This light, you can really see how mangled that is if I move that around. Something got inside of that door, and I don't know if when it sprung the hinges that it would have done that. Probably ought to look at these inner braces a little more closely. The door opened and closed fine, but yeah. But I got that all painted up. I'm gonna come on the bottom here. I'm gonna paint this tan color all the way across, just to try and seal that a little bit. I don't know, eventually maybe that rust burns through. I don't know. So I got that all ready, so tomorrow I can put on my weather strip. I got that's all, I think I got all of the stuff off of there, the PB blaster. If not, my stuff isn't gonna stick. So then these, got a second coat on those. So I'll let those dry, and tomorrow I'll stick all of that stuff in. And I'll show you how it all went back together. Have a wonderful night, and thanks for watching. So just pulling it along like that. Get it past that center guy, that center post. Then just grab it, slide it. Yep, see, it's easier said than done. Popped out on me. But, so, drag this back to where I had it, right. Was working good, but like everything, if it's going good, something's wrong. Okay, so just watch this back edge as you're pulling it in. Make sure it stays home. You run it all the way to that far edge. Like that, and that's all there is to it. So we'll fish this extra out here, baby. Talk. Okay. Back. Right back in. Okay. So that's in. Now, if you remember, there's that little tab. And pop that tab down to hold that strip in. Oh, this strip, it's set so it'll set it on the flat spot. It's gonna either put it into the window or just lay flat. I tipped it so it dragged right against the glass. So make sure you do that. So now I'm gonna cut this off and pop that tab. So this is the stripping that goes down inside of there where I'm welded. It's gonna go down like that. This has kind of a butyl back, so it's gonna stick once it's in there. Run it up the side and around and leave it out of the way for when you shove the vent window in. You've got to have this in, then the glass, then the vent window is the order of things. So I'm going to try and stick this in now where that stupid track's welded. So I got it in. You can see right down in the bottom. That's switching cameras on me. Right down in the bottom, right here, right at the tip of my finger. That is a clip you got to get it over to hold the bottom in. And then it comes up and snaps in right there, and everything's nice and even. So I got her. I got it in, and it looks like I still got more dirt in there I got to get out somehow before I put in my deadener. But we got her. So here's my window. I choose to use clear silicone to glue it in. It's something I did when I worked at a glass shop in Cedar, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. Hopefully it rips out easy enough. It can't be any harder than that 80-year-old crap that was in there before. But I've got that set up. Don't touch anything when you put it in. Let the silicone dry and then cut it. If you try and get it off before, you make a big stinging mess on your glass. So window is silicone. So I've been sitting here working this piece of glass over. Thoroughly convinced I know how it ends when I do any work on my truck on Sundays. But it didn't blow up. So I lubed this up really well with glass cleaner. And then I put the rubber into this channel like a U, and then slid the glass into it, and then started working it in with this dead blow. Do not, 1000%, do not do this to laminated glass or you'll break it. The way you tell laminated glass, you'll see 2 layers of glass right here, and it won't say tempered like that does. I hate those stamps. You are able to order, if you have a template, you can order this from a glass shop without the stamp, but with a sanded edge, tempered. And it'll be evident if it's tempered the first time you hit it with a dead blow. So make sure tempered glass, you can hit it with a dead blow. Lamy glass, don't bloody do that. So I got that all beat down in there pretty good. And now I'm gonna take a knife and I'm gonna cut this edge. So I've got this strip from LMC, the vent window glass, rubber, and this. Now you'll see how there's kind of a ridge on the edge here and here. And that snaps in right underneath that ridge. So I'm gonna try and get this dot, that dot, right in that hole right there. And that aligns everything up. So here we go. On the last one, I folded it like this and got that button in there pretty good, fairly easy. This one's acting like it wants to fight me a little bit. Might have been sitting down on the ground too when I was fighting my fight. There. goes ish. I lost it. Darn it. Trying to do it in the video is kind of hard. I need to go get some spray. Okay, so I'm gonna lube this up a bit. That was ridiculous. So spray it with some cleaner. That seemed to be the secret sauce when I was working at the glass shop in Cedar. See how it works here. Probably won't. Comes Hyatt. It's close to lining up. Doing. What? Okay, I got that wet and then was able to get that started with this screwdriver, working that in. There's a little divot on the side of these. That goes right around your vent piece. So I'm gonna work in the rest. So I got the rivet in there and I screwed up. Doing glass for a while, you think I would do something to keep that from happening. Scratched my freaking glass. So I had it upside down, pushing up on the bottom of the rivet and using my little punch for the top of the rivet. And as I slid my hammer down the glass to punch on that rivet, I scratched it. You can, that isn't really showing it, but I promise you it's there and I'm not happy. But I don't like that it says tempered glass on there either, so I don't know. In the future, I'm going to take that out anyway and put in one that does not say tempered. So now I'm going to get the piece that goes right in there where those holes are at and do that. Now you can see how big a mess I got going. Golf clubs, 350 engine. Do have a vacuum that I'm cleaning my mess up with. But I'll start putting that in, and there's a rivet that goes in each one of these holes all the way up. So 5 rivets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rivets I need to drill out in this little piece. So this is a little piece. The glass closes right against that. Shaped like that. So this guy lays in there this way. So I'll go along. It looks like there's holes marked on the back. I'll make sure that that's indeed where they go, and I'll drill me some holes. So these things, these are already drilled. There's just rubber over the top of them. So you just have to score that a little bit or get a small drill bit and that thing goes right through. So I will take these and pound them down. So here's my glass with the silicone dry. I didn't squish it out all over the place, so it's not a huge mess, but I'll just take my razor knife, cross like that, roll it off of there, call her good. Take the glass like this and you start it onto the roller in there. It'll be kind of twisted. I'll try and set this tripod up, show you how you get the glass in to start with. Okay, so you'll roll this up. We're down. I don't know which way it's going. That must be down. Can't see it, so I don't know. Okay, so you see it right there. Now, take this. Take it from this side. Try and jimmy it down through that strip that you put in. Pry up on this to get it to line up. And of course you've gone through and you've already made sure that that'll slide. And then slide that puppy in there, raise it up a little bit more, and it'll make it so you can slide it even further to clear this edge. Okay, now roll her down and shove it over and against this strip here, holding that in, and roll it down just a little bit because you got to have some room to get this vent in. So Hyatt and I sat down on the ground and we did these rivets here, and I'm gonna have to pull the passenger door apart to put those rivets in. That isn't gonna work. So with this, I still got to put that other track in, so I'm gonna grab that. So this track, it has a hole in it where you're able to rivet this to that. There's butyl on the back of this, so once it gets hot it's going to stick anyway. I guess one option I've got on that other door is I could, I've still got to take that other door all the way apart, get that to work. I'm just making more of a mess on my floor since I vacuumed it up yesterday. Why not? Okay, this just set her down and pop her in like so. Pop, pop, pop. Twisted. That needs to come up. Start it from the top and work it to the bottom. Kiss her. Oh wait. Whoops. No. No. Forget it. If you've already done it, don't pull it out. That's metal. And you'll be scared. It won't be good. This should come right into this edge. Dang it. I don't see that. Whoops. It's right there. I didn't line that up. I don't think. Let me see if I can get it to move a little bit. No. I'm gonna deal with this now. So I got this thing. If you find that you got that in wrong, roll it out. Don't pull it out. it looks like that. Just all rippled. You can even see it, it's black. I've got to try and straighten this all out. I'll do it with a pair of channel locks. Yeah, so that was not good at all. Okay, so now make sure you've tapped that hole in the bottom. This is the one that was jammed like really bad. So pull that out, make sure that is really quite lubed up. Tap it if you got a tap. You'll get that started down in there. Get that out of the way. Now, shift it over as you drop it down in. I should have went underneath on this. Yes, I think that's how I did it. Take this underneath. Now we'll see. We'll experience. Try this together. Maybe not. Things clear over. Had this rolled quite a ways down before. There we go. Okay. Now make sure these are going underneath right here. On the last one I had problems getting that in there. These little dog ear guys. Window is in the road down in the bottom, so you gotta making sure it's over. Now, if you're not lucky enough to have an extra hole to, like a speaker hole to stick your hand in, reach in through the Yes, that wasn't okay. Make sure this window's rocked all the way in on the bottom. It is causing me issues and grief. I can't get this back out. Huh. This is cool. Yeah, good luck doing this on a car that you just did a paint job on. What is it hitting on that track? It's just wedged. Ooh. Yeah, I'm getting all sorts of scratches going on right there. Okay, there. Alrighty then. Go. Maybe. Okay. Now, when you fill down in here, you'll fill the glass. You need to try and get the glass lined up. I believe to get that semi-lined up. That's still kicked. This is going to be major fits. Let me rest a little longer and I'll bring you back. This window glass is wrecking me. This window regulator that some guys have had problems with hitting, it's killing me getting this twisted around. The passenger side was so much easier. So yeah, trying to keep the window to the far side while getting this in. You got to clear the regulator to come across into the glass. My arms are kind of getting cut up a little bit. So I'm going to put this stuff on. And after watching some videos, I'm going to do it the exact same way I did the other side. So here we go. So if anybody was paying attention, you could probably tell what I forgot to do. There is no sound deadener inside of this. Still nice and tinny. So I took all my glass out and I'll try and figure out what to do with this thing. Because that isn't going to work with that being as tight as it was and the regulator being right on top of it. So till tomorrow, and we got all of this on. The strip is on there, that kicks around. Watch these edges right here real close. And then that'll cover up. That's all gooped on there. I don't know. That peeled right up. I'll have to reapply some stuff on that. The dinner bell rang, so I ran inside. Same with that one. Right there. Now that kind of stuck. So, yeah, this is that leading edge. But we'll see if it does better than the other side. So, till tomorrow. Okay, I'm on day 3. I went and I cut this stuff and I warmed it up and I've got it all inside of there. So it's nice and dead now. So now I will try and figure out how on earth I'm gonna get this glass in here. That welded edge I think is causing me issues, but I'll get her figured out. Again, glass first, slide in your vent window, put in your bolt. We'll get the window lined up in that vent window, put in the bolt, and then cut this guy, put the screw in, but I'll get to work putting that glass in again. So that went so much smoother than before. Make sure this glass is all the way over. You start it in, you start it on this fatter side, get that area with the bolt in it passed, and then get the glass started in the track. And then everything should be pinched and it won't move. Now I'm trying to get everything moved around and get this bolt in the base of this. But you can see it's got to go down just a little bit to get everything to line up. So I hope I didn't bend this bracket, but it went in so much easier. So I took the bolt, put the extension, reached up in there, right here, and got her started. And then shoved this down, so I'm ready to put these 3 screws in and these 2 bolts. Now getting these bolts in was kind of a pain on this one. This one I was able to put my screwdriver in and pry down and get that started. Then it took me a minute to figure out I could put that there, pry down and get that one started. These are 1/4-20s. Now I'll put those sheet metal screws in here. So there you have it. Both panes of glass in. I didn't like how this trim piece looked. It was a little rough, so I've sanded it down, and let me show you. So beginning of the video, I asked why did that have the felt strip that went all the way along. Answer is, this came off of a 1950 3600 of my brother's. So it didn't have a vent window, so the glass went all the way along. So they stapled that thing all the way along. But I haven't checked the screw holes yet, but I think everything for this trim piece lines up from 48 to 55 and a half, I think it is. So that's the answer to that question. Now I'll let this dry a little longer and then I'll put her. So we shoved the truck back inside, and I think that this door, where it was all wrinkled, I don't know if there's any salvage in this thing, because the body line right here is so much worse than the other side. And then trying to shut it, it won't. I don't know. I need to figure out how to get that to latch closer and tighter. I don't know if there's any way, unless I save up money and buy one of those new latch systems. But for some reason my paint is getting a weird texture. If you can see that, I don't know if it's too cold. I sanded it, wiped it down. You can see that wrinkle right here. I thought that the hinge would hold everything out right where it needed to be to latch in. So still need a couple screws here, but got the door in and the glass. Rolls on down right where I need it to, and it'll roll back up. And I'll show you one difference I found on this inner trim piece that's not on yet, because I don't like the paint, but there's one screw hole that's different. This screw hole's different. Let me show. Oh, this black one, this back one is from a 52. This is from a 50. They moved this screw hole. All the others are the same. So yeah, that one's different. And then I went and cut this out because there's a vent window. It needs a cut for the latch, and then this is for the vent. So I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna wind up having to redo this entire door and put one of the doors on off of the 52 that doesn't have that hinge all jacked up, which sucks because I lose the patina. I've got to try and copy that. Or maybe somebody's got an idea, but I got the belts on my engine, ordered a new power steering pump that already had the pulley on it, lined up perfectly. But if you have the S10 power steering hose with the S10 pump, that hose is not gonna fly because your radiator drops right down inside of that. So keep that in mind. But got everything lined up. Now I can start doing the electrical. So that is how you do your vent window and your main window. And got all the glass in. Pretty happy, other than I get to take the glass out and put it in another truck. Maybe. But we'll see. So thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully learned a little bit on doing this vent window and putting the glass in. Wasn't too bad. Made some mistakes and learned from them. I'm glad I started on the passenger side. Hopefully I don't have to do it 3 times. But we'll see. I'll watch some videos and do some reading and see how you can adjust how that thing closes in a little better. But appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully this helps. Have a good one.